be shooting by then, right? All right.
Hey guys, welcome back to SOS. We're here with Bret, Wonnacott, a good friend of ours. He's competed 6 times in Worlds, right?
World Championship.
World Championship, yes. And he's competed and won 5 times state here in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
Really good duck caller. Hopefully he knows a little bit of something today for a lesson that you're gonna come.
Well, maybe we can get you started a little bit. Teach you some things.
Sweet.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Very good. So, yeah, I see you have a little duck call there. You got that probably at a youth fair or something.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Well, the Youth Waterfowl Fair here in Utah is a good place for kids to come out and get started, and we have it every September at Farmington Bay, and you've been out to that a bunch of times.
Yeah.
So you've probably seen my little lesson I teach out there every year, but maybe we'll go through a little private one-on-one, and see if we can't get you to come along a little bit faster. You know about duck calling is pretty much all of duck talk is based on the quack. So that being said, what do you think we have to learn first?
Quack.
Okay, so if we don't know the quack, we can't do much else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the way we get into a quack, and I think Butch Richenbach taught it probably the best that I've ever heard it. And he started like, you have a dog at home?
Yeah.
You do. You ever whistle for your dog?
Sometimes.
How do you whistle? Okay, very good. Just like that. Do it a couple more times. So.
Yeah.
Just like this. Yeah, just a short burst. Okay. Now we're going to if we put the call to our lips, and we're going to put it backwards so we can hear the air go through it. And you're going to do that same thing, except without puckering your lips. That's good. Okay. Now we turn it around the right way and blow into the money end and try that same thing. Let's just hold your hand wide open for about cupped like a C for the first time. Go ahead. That's not too bad. Now I can hear you grunting into it a little bit, and that's okay. We can use a little bit of voice. It's nice to be able to take that voice away or put the voice into it if we want to, but we're not going to mess with that too much right now. So now we're going to close our hand almost all the way, so there's just a little bit of a gap. Okay? And we're going to, just as that air hits that, we're going to open our hands. We're going to start to make a little quack. Go ahead and give it a try. Okay, that's pretty good. Pretty good quack. And you've done this before, obviously. You're cheating just a little bit. Okay. All right. That's okay. So let's talk a little bit about airflow. Now, when we blow that little natural whistle like that, I think the genius of Butch's teaching was this. When you blow that whistle, you naturally blow the right kind of air. But that kind of air is, have you ever had hot soup at a restaurant or at home, and you try to eat that soup, and you take it and you get it on a spoon, and what happens if you put it right in your mouth?
It's hot.
It's just too hot, right? It burns you. So what do you do to cool it?
Blow on it.
So take your hand, and I want you to blow like you're blowing on soup. Okay, do you feel that air? Does it feel cool?
Kind of.
Kind of, okay. That's cool air, and that's the wrong kind of air. Now I want you ever get dirty glasses?
Yeah.
Okay, so if your glasses are dirty, and you blow air on your glasses, you go, blow that air on your hand. Now does that feel warm?
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's the proper air to blow into a duck call. So we want to blow that warm, moist air into the call, and that allows us to blow the true tone that the call is set up to do. Okay, so the genius of that whistle is that it makes you do that naturally, and I really admire him coming up with that. I assume he came up with it. Anyway, so we've got ourselves a quack, okay? So now we have to string a few of them together so we can make a mallard greeting. And a mallard greeting sounds like this. Okay, just sort of a mallard greeting, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how many notes was there?
Was that 5?
Oh, it's probably more than 5, but they can be anywhere from 5 to, I mean, sometimes you sit out there and listen to ducks, and you know, you'll hear an old hen go, quack, 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 quack.
Yeah.
You know, and you hear another one go, quack, quack, quack.
Yeah.
So you just, there's no set number. The trick, okay, so in order to get a mallard greeting, which sounds kind of like this, okay, we have to put multiple quacks together, but that's really all it is. Now here, as the notes go through the greeting, they start out longer and they get slightly shorter to the end. They also get a little bit softer. So, okay. Hear how it gets kind of softer. And when you listen to them out in the marsh, you'll hear that they kind of do fade just slightly at the end. Okay, so we're going to try to teach you to do that right now. So we do between anywhere between 5 and 9 notes in a mallard greeting. We'll just start out with 5 because 5 is easier than 9, right? Mm-hmm. All right. So, and you're a smart guy, so you can count to 5, right? Because I teach a lot of kids, and they don't seem to be able to count to 5. So, let's have you. There's a little song that we teach to. The song is called "Three Blind Mice," and nobody today knows Three Blind Mice because apparently it's politically incorrect or something. I have no idea why. Maybe people don't like mice. I don't know. I personally like mice. And I don't know. Anyway, so we're going to. Can you sing the song for me? Do you know the song?
Yeah, 3 blind mice.
Yeah, sing it.
I don't know anything after that.
Well, but it wasn't. You were just going 3 blind mice. Sing that song. 3 blind mice, like that.
3 blind mice.
Yeah, I like it. You even did the hands. Good. Very good. Okay, so you hear that tune?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna blow that little whistle in 3 notes to that tune, and it's gonna sound like this. We're just gonna leave our hand out of it. You hear it?
Yeah.
Okay, you. Okay, very good. So now we've got 3. How many did we need?
5.
See, I knew you were a smart guy. Okay, so how many more notes do we need?
2.
2. Okay, so if we've got 3 blind mice and we got to get 4, we just do this little thing called 3 blind mice plus 1, which is really lame, but it works, right? Mm-hmm. So 3 blind mice plus 1. So we're basically 5 consecutive whistles down the thing. So okay, give it a try. Good. Pretty much perfect. Okay, now it's a little bit mechanical and machine-like at that point, right? Mm-hmm. So if we can try to make that first note just a little bit longer and the last note just a little bit shorter and try to turn those notes into sort of a funnel all the way down, perhaps then we'd have more of a natural hand. Okay, so okay, I did 6 because, well, I don't count that well, but you give it a try. Listen, but I like the way you count though, because you realize you only had 3. So, but how about trying one more time? Okay, and one more time. Okay, good. Now let's shorten that first note up just a little bit. That's not bad. I can live with that. Okay, I'd let you call it with me right now. Okay. And so we learned a little bit about a greeting, and we learned a little bit about a quack. Okay, so we've got the quack, and we can put 5 of them together. The next thing we need to learn a little bit about is feed. Now, what I hear a lot of guys talk about as feed isn't something that I use a lot around here in Utah to hunt. If we hunted grain fields or something, we might blow a little more of this. But this is what a lot of people associate with feed. That's what a lot of people associate with feed, and it's a very aggressive feed like we use in like meat calling competitions or something. And if you were hunting ducks in a field and they were feeding aggressively, that might be a good call to blow. I've often heard the feed call described as more of a spacing call, and I subscribe to that thought rather than calling at other ducks in the sky, telling them there's a bunch of food down here and inviting them to come eat it. They're more telling the other ducks that are in the field with them to stay away because this is my food. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And the sound becomes a sound of ducks associated with feeding, but it's not really an inviting call. It's more of a get away from this is my food. Don't look at my food, like that kind of thing. Okay. So, but out here in Utah, when I'm hunting and I'm hunting on the water just about anywhere, I use a little bit more basic call, and it's just a single cut feed call. And it's much easier to do, and it's much easier to learn, especially if you're a beginner. And a little single cut is just something a little bit more like that. So the way we start doing that is when people do the double cut feed, like that first aggressive feed I'm doing, we usually teach it with words, and we use the words ticka 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 or kitty, 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 or chugga, chugga, chugga. And do that with me right now. Go kitty, kitty, kitty.
Kitty, kitty, kitty.
Okay, chugga, chugga, chugga.
Chugga, chugga, chugga.
Dugga, dugga, dugga.
Dugga, dugga, dugga.
Okay, now what's happening when you do that each time with the G sound, the middle of your tongue or the rear part of your tongue comes up and touches the roof of your mouth. The tip of your tongue, when you say T or D, comes up and touches the roof of your mouth. So essentially you're going T, G, T, G, T, G, T, G, T, G, T, G. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take out either the T or the G. It doesn't really matter. But I found through teaching that most people find it easier to use the T sound than the G sound in single cut feed. So I want you to go right now.
Okay.
Okay, now go. Which do you find easier?
I prefer the T sound.
The T sound, okay, and most people do. Every now and then I find some weird duck like myself because I find it easier to use the K sound or the G sound. But most people, like yourself, find it easier to use the T. So we're just going to go. And we kind of put the tongue on the roof of our mouth when we do that, a tip. I mean, almost like we're a chicken. Like that. Give it a try. Yeah, like that. Okay? So that when we pop it into the call, it goes. Okay? Let's hear you.
No.
That's really good. Okay? And then we want to learn to do it in a little bit of a series. Now, if you were to sit out and you were hunting ducks and you wanted to use that to finish ducks, just my friend Greg Hood down in Mississippi, he calls that pecking them in. And you can just use that call to keep those ducks coming. You ever out hunting and they come to the decoys and they just kind of stop and land short?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes if you keep quacking or that little cluck, they'll just keep coming right in. So I encourage you to try that sometime and see if it works for you. Okay, so you could just use that, but it helps to get a little bit faster with it. And you can go. Okay, so go ahead and just try that. Try doing it a couple. Try doing like 3, and then do 4, and then do 3, and then 4. Try that. Okay. It's hard, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, now if it's hard to go fast, go a little bit slower. It's better to be clear and slow than muddled and fast. Okay. Good. Okay, that's pretty good. Now we can use our hand to change the tone just a little bit. And watch my hand and listen to the tone change. So we can use that when we're blowing that single cut feed to change and manipulate the tongue. Sound like more ducks, right? So it's a. Okay. So, but I never move my hand when I'm making a note. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So try that, and I want you to do it just a little bit slower than me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Now when we move our hand, let's just move our fingers. See
Okay.
see my fingers?
Yeah.
Okay. So just move the fingers. We don't move the whole. You don't need to move the whole hand. It's subtle movements. Watch. Okay. Now this is just the basics. This is just to get you going, right? Okay, so, and that's what I use and that's what works for me. And that's basic starting to learn to call ducks. How do you feel about those things that you just learned?
Oh,
So,
I like it.
good.
Yeah.
So can you do a quack for me? Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, I'd like to see you learn to take your voice out of it, but that's
Okay,
pretty
yeah.
good. Okay, and let's hear a greeting. Yeah, let's blow a fast one now. Okay, and blow a little bit of that single cut feed. Okay, now blow a double cut feed just because it's fun. Which is what? Kitty, 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 right?
Yeah.
Kitty, 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 kitty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead. that shouldn't be that easy. That was really hard for me to learn. But it's a fun call to learn, and it can be useful also. So, okay.